Super Mega Disappointment. That's exactly what Super Megaforce is as a series. As for the toys, well, same thing really. This is the legendary Megazord. Yes, they used to stick the word legendary on nearly everything they went sticking the phrase Super Mega onto, which is a bit of it's a Super Mega disappointment, I'll give it that, because there's no, because obviously this is a galleon. Obviously, you can tell, you can clearly see that, can't you? It's like a pirate ship, and they avoided that. So this is the Super Mega Megazord. This is the legendary Megazord, and came with the Super Mega. Came with the Super Mega Red key. Now, normally I would do a comparison between normal American things and Japanese things, but I actually left my Japanese key in another place, so I can't do a comparison right now. So I'm just gonna have to show you this key. I'm doing this bit first because it's quite problematic, as you can see. I'll tell you why in a minute. This is the Mega Red key. They did the paint all right on the chest. As for the helmet, yeah, about normal Ranger key quality for the helmet. This is one of those really unnecessary keys where it's translucent and it doesn't need to be. Like, they could have quite easily included the normal Super Mega Red key, but they chose not to. Anyway, like with all Ranger keys, flip the hands up and then flip this part up too. And yeah, it's in key mode. Now, here's the problem I was talking about. Normally, the key leg should stay down, but on a few of my keys, they instead do this. They just flip up with, like, because the spring's gone loose, I think. It will stay down, but move it a bit and boom. It's not meant to do that. Anyway, next thing, that's now in a key mode. As you can see, here's the little QR code for the now defunct, apparently, key scanner. Little keyblade, as you can see. This little filled in pin tells the legendary morpher that you were indeed putting in a Super Mega Red key. Like, there's no distinction between the translucent or the normal ones. It's just the same kind of key. Apparently there's like a little code, like a little number telling the key. Yeah, there we are. The number is PR-001. That's the key number. So this is officially classified as a normal Super Mega Red key despite being translucent, so it was a bit of a mess. Anyway, this key works with this Megazord, as we will get to later, but for now we'll have a look at the Zords that are included. First up, it's the Skyship Zord, and yeah, this is obviously a galleon. They couldn't get away with not calling this like a Skyship at the very least. This is a galleon. That they did call it for some reason, but despite because the whole thing was anti-pirates theme, which I mean I can understand, like business wise, but it was so blinking obvious. Look, this is a ship, you can't ignore that. Anyway, I'd say that the paint that is there is all done up nice, like silver on here, silver on the cannons. These are meant to be cannons, but they're not on the right side. And the rest of it is just, well, aside from the gold lining, it's just one great big red block. You can tell there's meant to be some paint in the detailing here because it's all moulded detail, and there should be some paint here, but there is none. There's some silver here on the connecting ports. Now, to me, the worst paint offender to me, the worst offender for lacking paint to me, is not painting these little laser cannons. Which is they should have done that. Also, these meant to hold the Megazord swords. We'll get to that in a minute. On the bottom is more gold paint, as well as this has just been painted gold, but I don't know why they bothered painting this part. There's some wheels here. This is like a little. This is meant to spin. It doesn't spin. This whole black part. There's a key slot here, which makes more sense by the time you get this into Megazord mode. Anyway, the next sword is indeed the Super Mega Jet Zord, and yes, there's a catastrophic amount of paint missing from this Zord. In fact, the only paint I do see on this particular Zord is the cockpit, the little gun barrel. I think that's the gun barrel. The fist, this silver part here, and the paint on this part of the jet, which shouldn't really be classified as jet itself because it's a separate piece, but for a Megazord, most of these things are really lacking in paint. Luckily, it improves, but on this, no way, not too good. The Racer Zord is the same for paint because this is a separate bit of plastic. I think this gold. Again, the only real paint I do see on this is the silver for the cockpit and the silver here. And that's all the paint I see, which is a shame. Because this was 30 quid when it came out, don't forget. I mean, you'd expect there to be a bit more paint on this thing, but apparently no. So this is Racer Zord. Yeah. Nothing really we can explain about this, all apart from the fact that, well, it's a car. The wheels do spin, which is nice. They are connected, well, these two at the front are connected, see? But these ones aren't. So, I mean, also, I'll explain these random Zord builder pegs in a minute in Megazord mode. They make a lot of sense. And then the Wheeler Zord. This is where the paint starts to improve a bit, because there's some black paint here, and there's quite a bit of black paint up here, plus some gold. So the paint does increase on the legs for on the yellow and the pink. I mean, that's okay. This is the Wheeler Zord. It's a bit, I think this is going to be a truck. I'm not sure. Connection peg at the side. These wheels here, these roll. There's some parts where there's some wheel molded detail, but there's no actual wheel parts underneath, which is, I mean, that's okay. If you consider that there's a little wheel neck, practically that does its job for it. It's like unnecessary molding storage. But again, the worst offender for this Zord for me, aside from the well, I was going to say aside from the paint, but I think they did a good job on the paint. I think this bit should have paint on it, this logo here, and the logo here. But again, another offender to me is that there's a wheel here and it's molded, it doesn't do anything. But the reason they probably included it is because it would stand up nice with it there. But based on the fact there's some wheels here and there's a wheel there, it still would have stood up had they not included this wheel. Aside from that, they included the wheel just to be like molded, detail accurate to the Japanese version. Anyway, the last Zord we have is the Super Mega Sub, and just like the Phoenix Zord from Megaforce, this is mostly white with not that much pink on it, but it's got more pink than the Phoenix had, so that's good. There's some pink paint here, there's some gold paint on the little anchor symbol, which I do like the fact they included on this particular Zord in Japan. Feels very nice. There's some wheels on the bottom, there's some obvious missing paint here, gold used here. Right. In case you're wondering what I've put these off for, the Skyship is meant to attach these to the front because this red bit's meant to be like a sail that folds up. However, when I tried to insert it, I think it was yesterday, it didn't go on all the way, it kept falling off. That's why I've had to put it off to the side because it won't attach. Right, now we can do the transformation for these full Zords. Now, I am going to say that in the show, in Gokaiger as well, they all fold up as Russian dolls. And honestly, that would have been a pretty cool feature to have as a toy, but strictly speaking, they would not be able to pull a Megazord off with disproportionate limbs in order to fit them inside as Russian dolls, so that wouldn't work. If they made that Russian doll version as like a little mini Plav version, I'd say why not. But then again, that Mini Plus meant to be like combined as a Megazord. They could have sold it off as a separate tool, I don't know, like a non-combining Galleon or something. They could have done that, and they didn't for some reason. So a rare missed opportunity there for Sentai. Right, let's do the transforming. And to be fair, it's all pretty simple really. For Jet, you need to push in push in these wings here at the bottom, and then the wings at the top need to be pushed in too, and remove this part as well. And also, yeah, you can put it on backwards. And doing this reveals this part here, like a small clip peg. Now this is the Megazord. It's a pirate hat, obviously, but it's a Megazord helmet, which we'll get to when doing the Galleon. Then for Racer, move these back wheels forward, like move them around like this. And then the fist up here, this just comes up. Now, unlike the Jet, but the fist is already out, as you can see, it's molded. This actually can move down. Again, this is how it was on the Japanese version too, I believe. I'd also like to point out that this still kind of works as a vehicle, even when it's transformed. And then for the wheeler, is the only transformation difference between this version and the Japanese version. Just move this bit up. On the Japanese version, it was a case of detach this entire bottom part and reattach it here, basically. But they made it kind of more simple by moving it up, and yeah, why didn't they have this it like this for the Japanese version? I wonder. And then again for the sub, just split the front part in two. So again, still pretty simple. And then we get to the Galleon Zord, which we will do very quickly, ultra quickly even. We take the Galleon Zord and fold in the little laser cannons. I think they're laser cannons at least. Fold in the sail, spin this sail round and then fold it down. And now this is the torso of the Megazord, and you can see the obvious connection ports where you can put the Zord. So let's just do that quickly. So that's sub, wheeler, racer, jet. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to open up this part up here. There's like some cannons on the shoulders, and you can see they did the head quite well. I still think there's a couple of bits of missing paint, but they did the whole aesthetic nice. The red part's meant to be like a bandana, I think. And you can just attach the helmet to the top like that, and also you can put it on backwards if you want, that's what you want to do. And of course the front part of the Galleon, this splits into two swords, which again the Megazord can hold, or they can just put into the little holders on the side. And now I'm going to just demonstrate two more things. First off, the key, what does it do? You got a little key slot on this side here. When you put the key in and turn it, this door opens. Now, for Megazord functionality, they say to put a key in there, but no, this is meant to be just for combinations. For the additional Zords, and let me tell you, the additional Zord combinations suck. Alright? Because, if you recall, I showed you that there was some fold out peg. No, it's more of an example on the legs here. There's some pegs that are out here. Now, they try to be reasonable by having the ones on the Racer and the Jet fold up into the arm here. But on the sub and the wheeler, they were completely unfair. They are perfectly like out. And these are just meant to be for the additional Zord combinations, and the additional Zord combinations aren't very good because the reason they have these pegs here, because the original Go-Kaio had a door opening feature that was like the front door, but as you can tell by some of the molded hinges here, and here, on the legs at least, these are meant to open and they're meant to be like hollow on the inside, because you're meant to put the additional Zords in there. But since these don't have the opening doors, they had to put some pegs on here, which makes it it just doesn't look right with the pegs on. So that was the legendary Megazord. As design, overall design, honestly, yeah, it would make it would make a Power Rangers fan wonder. It might even make a Sentai fan wonder, because having a jet, a racer, a sub, and a trailer combined feels a bit random until you realise that because the overall theme for this particular series of Power Rangers is pirates. Apparently, these kinds of vehicles were used to smuggle things in and out of countries, and that context for pirates is taken away out of Power Rangers. So in Go-Kaiju it makes sense, but in Super Megaforce, just like most of Super Megaforce at least, it makes about zilch sense.